Welcome to Tiny Rails, the fun little game with a train. And this is mine going past with the Titan engine on the front. I'm currently doing the Africa quests and the Great Train Race, which is part of the Africa quest, which sent me across the Atlantic and then back across the Atlantic, heading towards London in the UK, or England to be precise. And if I've got this right, I should be coming into London right about now. I think I'm currently in 5th place in the Great Train Race. I've got just over $500,000 in cash. And here's Mr. Higgs. It's day 5 of the Great Train Race. Due to a malfunction, Juan has dropped into 5th place. Gretchen is our new leader. Gretchen, we are well on our way to winning our first championship. We may beat last year's record if we maintain this pace. Carter, Gretchen is picking up the pace, team. Increase our speed. I want to get to the port as soon as possible. Okay, I don't know which port he's talking about, but... Cyril, 3rd place. I should be able to overtake Carter without any tricks. Valerie, keep pushing it, Sophia. We must be in 4th. I'm giving it all she's got, Captain. Oh, nice Star Trek reference. Hank, the engine is holding, but if we push any longer, we could do some damage. Valerie, let's get past Cyril and rest the engine. Juan and Okada appear to be up and running again. Can they possibly catch up? Stay tuned. Okay. So that was chapter 4-6 out of 4-10, I believe, in total. And now I've got to make a stop at Stockholm, in Sweden, which is not too far away. Just up there. So, let's get on our way. As mentioned previously, one of the things I'm trying to do is earn money to upgrade stations in Russia. So I've got over $500,000, so I'll upgrade another one. And Rostov-on-Don, which means that Russia, which is that one, is 95% complete. Asia's 85% complete, and as previously noted, I have completed North America, Alaska, and now Europe. So I'm working on completing Russia, then Asia, and then I will get as far as possible with Oceania and Africa. But that's going to require a heck of a lot of money. As I'm in year 14, July the 24th at just after 5 o'clock in the morning, which means the sun will be coming up shortly. And life will be goodness and light. I have no cargo I want or need, so we just keep going straight on to Berlin, and good old Deutschland, or Germany if you prefer, which is a place I have visited frequently, well, I say frequently, numerous times when I was younger. My parents even lived there, mainly because my father was in the RAF and got posted out there. So they spent 3 years living at RAF Larbrook, as it was at the time. Really nice, actually. Another place that is nice is Germany. One of the things I did like about Germany, there's a couple of little quirks. One is you cannot reverse out of a parking space. They have a law/rule where you reverse into parking spaces, and that cuts down on a significant number of accidents in car parks where people reverse out of parking spaces and either hit pedestrians or hit cars they didn't notice were coming, because they drive forwards out of parking spaces and hence don't have that problem. Also, every car has to carry a medical kit which has a certain specified amount of medical equipment in it, because if there's an accident, the police can stop any car and demand the medical kit so that they can treat people who are part of an accident if they don't have enough supplies themselves, which is very useful. And again, if a car is in an accident, they can just search for the medical kit in the car and use that to treat anybody that's hurt. And they're very strict on things like speed limits and driving rules inside populated areas like towns, because if you want to go fast, they have the autobahn for that. So they're strict on the rules where people can get hurt, but if you want to drive like a nutcase, go on the autobahn, and they're fine with you doing that. So there's at least 3 very sensible rules I think the Germans have got. There are many more that the Germans do have. One of my current colleagues lived and worked in Germany for a number of years, and she comes up with some great stories about the stuff that happens in Germany and their rule requirements, which as a foreigner can be kind of onerous if you're not used to it. But when you examine all the rules they have, they're normally there for a good reason, and they make sense. So, apart from the fact that my nation historically gets on with the Germans, 2 world wars aside, but and the football, so we won't talk about so that side of it. But historically, the English and the Germans have normally managed to get on. We normally dislike the French more than we dislike the Germans, historically and personally. So the world wars were an oddity in that way. But we tend to look at the Germans and think, yes, they make sense. They do things in a certain regimented way, but they do it for a good reason. So, we don't particularly necessarily like their sense of humour, and we really don't like their football team. But apart from that, the Germans tend to be respected by the English and vice versa. Or historically they do. I mean, the current lot, the English really don't think much of Merkel and sort of some of the stuff she comes out with, and I'm pretty sure the Germans are looking at Boris Johnson and the mess that England's made of Brexit and are laughing at them. But those little things aside, historically it's 2 nations that have got on pretty well over hundreds of years. There you go. And as for the Scandinavian nations like Norway, Sweden, Finland, and whatever the other one is. God, I always forget one of them. Not thinking Denmark, Sweden, Finland, Norway. Is there another one? Possibly not. We've always liked the people from those nations. I don't know why. Maybe it's just some peculiarity of quirk we've had with such nations. But we look at them as nice nations. Nations where we like the people that come from those areas. One of those historical quirks. We tend to have had issues with the Spanish, the Italians, certainly had lots of issues with the French. We don't have a lot of time necessarily for the Swiss, but the Scandinavian nations and Germany have always had a nice little soft spot in the heart of the English. Again, generalisation, and there are various times when that hasn't always held true, but historically, over longer periods of time, that's been pretty much the truth of that. I don't necessarily understand why, but it just is. It is what it is. And I will just go collect some more money from the jobs I've completed. I probably should clean and maintain my train. I'm wondering where it's going to send me after Stockholm. $149,000 in my tray or my cash, and there's an obstacle in the way. I was about to go back to my caboose and pick up any money that was lying around the caboose. An obstacle got in the way. There's my caboose. 61,000 in there. That helps with the cash flow. Gets me up back over 200,000. 100 miles to go. We'll find out how well I'm now doing in the Great Train Race. Mr. Higgs, welcome back to the Great Train Race. Gretchen remains in first place with Carter and Cyril gaining ground. Carter, Gretchen is going to get to the port before we do. I hope Abraham has enough boats for us. Okay, who the heck is Abraham? Valerie, it looks like we'll arrive at the port at the same time. When we reach Africa, we'll need to move fast. Sophia, sounds good to me. The trip will give our engines some time to rest. We can do minor repairs during the trip as well. Juan, the port will be our chance to pass them. Computer, run speed optimization to prepare speed boosts. Okada, I'm just happy to make it to the port. My robots are falling apart, one city at a time. Cyril, I certainly hope that no misfortunes befall my fellow competitors. See you in Africa, friends. Okay. So now I've got to go to... yeah, wherever that place is pronounced. I'll have to find that on a map once I've just collected some more money from the jobs and replaced the jobs I've completed. Okay, that's the jobs all replaced. So where am I going next? Okay, over there. It keeps saying go via a port, but there are no ports in this general area. So I'll just set that as a destination to give me a route. Looks like we're going around that side of Africa. Down to there. Okay. So off we go to Helsinki. $286,000 now in my bank. Not enough to upgrade another station. I do like doing that, collecting the money from these 5 cars. So I wonder if in the mobile version there's a port in Sweden that you go to. Maybe not. Maybe it's the same as the PC version for that. I don't know. But I've got a long journey ahead of me, so I'm not going to do all of it on camera, or even, I imagine, most of it on camera. Well, pretty much hardly any of it, to be honest. I'll probably go down to about Minsk or somewhere close to it, and then I'll get to Yaoundé, Africa 4-8. The Great Train Race begins, yada yada yada. Africa story progress is now 91%. And total quest progress is now 64%. So I really can't complain about the fact I'm almost at the end of the Africa quest. I've got to sell the stuff that I picked up from the obstacle and continue out of Helsinki. At least in a couple of, or an episode or two's time, I will know how much progress I've actually made in Africa, even though I can't make any further progress in Africa, bar upgrading one more station. Oh, I did a speed boost there because I was only 9 miles out from the station. Alright, straight through there, drop off 5 passengers, pick up 10. I forget which episode number this is. What am I at? About 96 maybe? 96, 97, somewhere around there. I'm guessing. So I've got to get to this place in Africa, which is, I have to go back and check, 4-8, which will take me somewhere else at 4-9, then hopefully it'll take me to wherever it completes at 4-10. So one more episode, maybe two, and that will be the end of the Africa quest, and at which point it should unlock the South America quests. I'll find out if I can actually continue any further with the game. If not, it's just a matter of earning money over time to upgrade all the stations in Russia, Asia and anywhere else in the world where they need upgrading. But that will pretty much end me recording this game. Apart from if I do get enough money to complete all the Russia and Asia stations, I will record that and add it to the end of the playlist. Just because I'm like that. So, yep, basically I've got another 1 or 2 episodes to go, I think. Unless a miracle happens and I suddenly find a way out of this deadlock in South America. Which I've explained a few times in previous episodes. Okay, well, I'll get to the next station and send it onwards. And then I'll end this episode. Yeah, as we head towards Minsk, as now I've just got a long trip across to Central West Africa, which isn't going to be that thrilling. I don't have pretty much anything to say at this point, but hopefully I'll see you down the track for more of Tiny Rails in the next episode or two before I end my time with this game. I hope you enjoyed to one degree or another, and be well, stay safe, and cheers!